Code enforcement's mission is to ensure compliance with county codes and state laws, to create safe, attractive communities that improve the quality of life of residents.
County Code Enforcement has several special programs: illegal dumping, community cleanup, graffiti abatement, fire hazard abatement, off-highway vehicle enforcement, cannabis enforcement, and of course our traditional code enforcement program.
Code enforcement benefits residents through our goal of leaving people better than we found them, by leaving them safer because we have addressed unpermitted construction that could affect the occupants, or by improving blighted conditions that affect not only the occupants, but the community.
My role in code enforcement is to ensure that residents of San Bernardino County are following the rules and the ordinances, talking with the public more one-on-one, helping them learn the ordinances, but also talking to them as though we're neighbors, because we need to make sure that San Bernardino County is a good place to live, a good place to work, and be a beautiful place for the residents.
Our code enforcement team continues to grow. We're working on some initiatives that are going to expand services and create new programs that will help our county residents.
I'm very pleased with them always. I've dealt with them for a good 30 years now. There's reasons for the code enforcement, and we want our city safe, and you can see when you don't have the codes what you get.
I became homeless back in 2008. I lost my sister. Then I lost my mom. I went under depression. I was really sick. I couldn't walk.
Sarah, we met in late 2019. She was living in front of businesses along the street. We gave her some information and linked her with a host team and inroads for temporary transitional housing motel assistance.
So I think it's important collaborating with all the departments involved, because sometimes there's a situation where we'll have to gather together and just think outside the box how we could help that person out.
Inroads stands for Innovative Remote On-Site Assistance Delivery Service. From the time that I just recently had met her on the streets to today, she's so much happier, healthier, and is working towards getting her own apartment now.
We go to where the client is and taking the resources directly to them, and it helps build that bridge for success.
I don't want to be homeless anymore, and I thank the county staff and team that helped me through this. Thank you guys, and God bless you.
ARMC just received Level 1 Trauma Center verification by the American College of Surgeons.
It means that all of these services at the hospital are able to work together in a timely fashion to take a patient from the doorway to the definitive care place. We were Level 2 prior to this. By achieving Level 1 status, we've become a center that doesn't have to transfer any patients out to provide life-saving care.
It is well known as the county hospital that serves the Inland Empire region with high quality medical care, but also a great place to train future physicians and future nurses.
We developed a program, actually just a partnership with our local hospitals to go out and teach them about trauma. It's a phone call, and then we'll set a classroom for their physicians and ER nurses, and we're more than happy to go and provide this education, because our goal is to provide optimal care for all of our patients, not only in our hospital, but in the outside hospitals as well.
So I think having education in addition to being able to deliver high quality care, that's what I think makes this hospital a very special place.
San Bernardino County has always been the biggest, and once again, we're the best. Under the Board of Supervisors' visionary leadership, we earned an incredible 160 Achievement Awards from the National Association of Counties in 2023, winning more than any other county for the second year in a row. There are more than 3,000 counties in the United States, and San Bernardino County continues to stand above them all in terms of accolades for innovation, efficiency, and public service. This year, we were honored for streamlining staff training for our homeless point-in-time count, hosting 32 animal adoption events leading to more than 1,600 pet adoptions, making building inspections easier, keeping residents well-informed and safe following the El Dorado flood, teaching children the importance of good oral health, providing reentry support to vulnerable clients following incarceration, enabling local job seekers to succeed in their careers, increasing access to healthy foods for county residents, unveiling our Curtain of Courage Memorial. And this is just a sample of the 160 national awards that San Bernardino County earned for the services we provide to our residents and visitors. Thank you to our county employees for making this recognition possible.
Hi, my name is Angel. I am an enrichment specialist here at the San Bernardino County, specifically at the War Animal Shelter. For the whole day, I get to spend time and walk them, feed them, and play with them, and just improve their quality of life. I do enjoy being around animals. I grew up with them. I have had dogs my whole life, and cats as well. First thing I do, I normally just clean the play yard or the catering room for the cats and dogs. And then I'll check my list to see what dogs are available to do enrichments. From there, I'm just taking one by one throughout the 10 hours that I work here. And I just spend time with them, feed them, play with them, walk them. But since right now it's summer, it's very hot, so we just play in the play yard and we're at the pool out there. What I like is that I meet new pets every day. I bond with them, make them adoptable, find them a new home. especially when it comes to aggressive or shy dogs. They typically change when we provide these enrichments for them. Once they do get adopted, that's like the best feeling. When you make a difference, such as changing their personality, you know they're gonna be adopted one day just because they're a happy animal. What makes me happy being working with this staff is that our main goal is to get these animals adopted. If you just love being around animals, this is the perfect job for you as well.
I personally always play ball with Levi. Cody always plays ball with Nolan. And then we have Sonia, who is upset if she doesn't get two buddies. There will be special requests on the field, like, no, you're my buddy, and then sometimes they get in arguments. And Miracle League is a baseball league for people with special needs. Our role is to go down there and be their buddy. Whatever they need, help getting around the bases because they're in a wheelchair, assistance hitting the ball, throwing the ball. It's our job to make sure that nobody gets hurt. Everybody there is just having a good time. Both teams are rooting for each other. You know, there's really no competition. There's no outs. Everybody's just there to have fun. It's just a really neat program to be a part of. 6 o'clock is game time. They'll do a national anthem. We buddy up with our players. Sometimes you have no choice in the matter. They come up to you and like, you are my buddy.
You want to be my
Absolutely.
buddy? Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're with them the whole time. So he hits the ball, you're running with him to the first, second, third. It's all about getting out into the community that we serve. We will run into some of the players at the grocery store, on medical aids. You know, they'll instantly, we'll recognize each other and talk about, when the next season is coming out. You know, a lot of our players obviously have some medical issues, and we've gone to their houses on medical aids to already have the relationship. You know, we already know each other. The parents already know us. It is a lot different than just going into someone's house that you don't know.
I grew up in this area, and there were not programs that made kids with disabilities feel normal. So this is like a normal thing. This is baseball. We started in May of 2013. Fire and EMS and police guys are heroes. For our players to have the fire department come out and help them and be their best friend for a night, that's huge. Awesome.
It's so beautiful being able to see like the parents come together and being able to hang out and communicate with each other. Being able to see the joy on the faces. There's literally never a bad day when I come to Miracle League.
We've had the opportunity to invest the town resources into Brimfield. They're used to the field. There's about a lot of comfort that comes from that. Yeah, it's been a real blessing to us in the community, and you can see the participation here. You know, the bleachers are full every night. That's the thing I dig about
Throw it to Nolan. Throw it to Nolan. Nolan, throw it in. Followed closely by Andrea.
He hasn't said many of his one-liners. He's famous for saying, like, if somebody's like really swinging at it, he'll be like, he's chopping broccoli. He's chopping broccoli. I'm definitely invested in this community. It feels like home. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I love it. All right, dude.
What's in there?
We brought gifts.
Oh!
Right?
Finally a hat.
Finally, right? I'm Zach Taylor, I'm the captain with San Bernardino County Fire Department here in Yucca Valley, and I'm proud to serve you.
Good job.
Today we are at the newly completed Birch Creek Bridge in Oak Glen. This project demonstrates the county commitment to disaster preparedness and disaster response. When Tropical Storm Hillary came through, it completely inundated this creek and destroyed the bridge.
The prior bridge crossing was a smaller 12x6 box culvert, which was heavily damaged by large boulders that came down the burn scar area. Our engineering department put together a quick project to replace the destroyed structure with 2 10x10 precast boxes.
I'm extremely proud of our crews and our engineering teams for finding an innovative solution to replacing and repairing this bridge.
These 2 precast boxes tremendously improved the ability of water and debris to flow underneath the roadway. The project started in mid-September, and we're standing here now on the brand new bridge, which has been opened prior to Thanksgiving.
So often county projects get held up during design, or because of environmental concerns or material lead time. And this project, we were able to complete it in record time.
We have been cleaning channels and installing mitigation measures like K-Rail in preparation for the upcoming winter season. We have cameras in place to monitor the area remotely and have pre-positioned barricades and equipment to close down roads quickly and begin the cleanup process as soon as the storm is over.
With the reopening of this road, visitors and residents now have full access to their homes and local businesses.
Do you own a property in San Bernardino County? You may be owed a property tax refund. To find out if you have a refund, please visit the ATC website at sbcountyatc.gov. On the left side of the website, click Unclaimed Tax Refund Search. You can search for an unclaimed property tax refund by parcel number or street address. For example, if your address is 123 Palm Street, only enter 123 Palm in the search bar. There is no need to enter street, avenue, lane, or any other portion of your address. If you have an unclaimed refund, the bill number, parcel number, citus address, refund amount, and a link to the form will appear on screen. If you don't have a refund, you'll be notified of that as well. To request a claim form, click Form on the left-hand side of the screen, and the refund information will show on the next screen. If the mailing address is correct, click Yes and enter your name, email address, and phone number. If the mailing address is not correct, click No and complete the form, including where you want the form to be mailed. Your request will be processed in the order it was received, and the appropriate claim form will be mailed to the address provided. If you have any questions, please call 909-382-3090.
Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid being made in somebody's garage or their home, not controlled. It's 50 times more powerful than heroin and 100 times more powerful than morphine.
Stop the Void is a California nonprofit corporation dedicated to educating and raising awareness in our communities about the scourge of fentanyl. We started this organization because I lost my own son, Daniel Huerta, who was only 16 and a half years old when he passed away due to fentanyl poisoning. Due to the stigma of addiction and overdose, most parents feel that this can never happen to them. And I'm truly sorry, but it can.
San Bernardino County started with the Fentanyl Doesn't Care, But We Do campaign. Fentanyl doesn't care if you're a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, a coworker, a friend. It just doesn't care. But we do in the county of San Bernardino, and that's why we created this campaign to bring awareness to the community.
San Bernardino County and Stop the Void have partnered together. Come to San Bernardino County website, Department of Behavioral Health, look at all the resources that they have, and make sure that you speak to your children. Numbers just came out for 2022, and it's north of 109,800 drug deaths in the United States. Roughly 77% of all of those drug deaths were due to fentanyl. This is why this message and this campaign is so, so important. If you think that it can't happen to you, think twice.
San Bernardino County's Land Use Services has now made it even easier for you to schedule your on-site, virtual, and self-inspections. It's called Easy Inspect, and it's a new mobile app available on the App Store and Google Play. Built with both contractors and homeowners in mind, Easy Inspect is an easy-to-use tool for viewing all of your eligible inspections right from your phone. You can schedule one or multiple inspections at your fingertips. For any additional help using Easy Inspect, visit easyinspect.sbcounty.gov or call 800-637-6655.
As we look at this monument, may we reflect on the memories and lessons of each very precious life, because it is this, our shared story, with all its pain and tragedy, that binds us together as a diverse community of people around our county today and even with those around our world. May this curtain of courage represent to you that we choose to join you in honoring the lives of your loved ones, our loved ones, and will never
Try to be nice to them.
Your collar's on this. It's popping out on the right side.
Feel like I'm on the signature. Because it took me 3 years to go through signature. Right?
You're so sweet. Thank you.
I know. Sister Mary Lauren.
Good morning. I would like to call this meeting to order. I'd also like to acknowledge the High Desert and Joshua Tree video conferencing sites, and thank you all for joining us. This morning, I have the pleasure of introducing our pastor, Chaplain Mike Reines, born and raised in Loma Linda. He began working in the healthcare chaplaincy in Florida until he accepted an offer to come home to the Loma Linda area and to serve as staff chaplain at Loma Linda University Health. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please join us up here for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Let's stand and pray together. Gracious and almighty God, as we begin a new day with plates full and agendas that are full, we take a moment to pause and to recognize your goodness, your mercy, your grace, and your love. Thank you for giving us a chance to discuss these important matters. I pray for your blessing on our leaders, on our officials, and the decisions they'll make today that impact this community, this county. Bless them with wisdom, with guidance and discernment, and bless this land, Lord. Thank you for your great love for us. We ask all this in your name. Amen. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We'll now move on to our memorial adjournments. Vice Chair Cook, Supervisor Hagman, none. Supervisor Baca,
None.
Supervisor Armendariz. Oh, we have no special presentations this morning, so we will move into reports from County Council. Tom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are no reportable items from closed session.
Reports from our CEO, Luther.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Nothing to report this morning.
All right, we'll move then to our individual board member comments. Vice Chair Cook.
Just that prayers are with the Middle East, some friends over there. Just a very, very difficult time. It's when you've been in a certain part of that area, you know what's going on. I'm not saying I'm praying more now than ever, but I think a lot of people, both sides, what have you, need our prayers and thoughts. And that's all I have today.
Thank you. Supervisor Hagman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple reports out from committees. First, I serve as the county representative for IREN, and I participate in a regional energy network. This stands for the Connect Governments and others to energy efficiency resources. We actually gave 3 winners of this from San Bernardino, Indio, and Mono counties to elementary school kids who came with the best different science fair from our county, science fair entries. Which is the most energy efficient for cars? Which form of energy? Can electronics be used plants as a conduit? And sand batteries. And these are from 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. So they're doing quite well in those science studies already. So I want to congratulate those winners. Next week is SCAG General Assembly, and I'm honored to have been nominated to assume the role of president. I want to thank all my SCAG colleagues for that. Ontario Airport update. Valeris marks its 10-year anniversary of service between Ontario and Guadalajara, Mexico. And our passenger volume keeps increasing, 10% each the first 3 months and 11% in March so far. So we're higher than 2024. So more and more volume going through Ontario Airport, more destinations all the time. Monday, Supervisor Amadeus and I got to attend the Brightline West groundbreaking in Las Vegas yesterday. It's a $12 billion investment, high-speed rail from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga. So it's a big project, and it'll be the first true high-speed rail anywhere in North America for us. So we're excited to see that going. It'll go up to 200 miles per hour, and from Rancho to Las Vegas in about 2 hours. And we're holding the district job fair and expungement on May 4th. From 10 to 2 at Ontario Airport. If anybody wants to go to that, please contact our office for details. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Baca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate the opportunity to give some of the updates. Yesterday, had the opportunity to attend with my colleague. I really want to thank our District Attorney, Jason Anderson, for hosting the National Crime Victims Memorial. I think it's important. It's Crime Victims Memorial Week, and 2 victims actually came out and spoke and shared their story. I think it's important that we thank them for their bravery and courage to share that story. So anyone that's been through a crime, knows that they have support from our county staff and many of our county nonprofits that are here. Last week, we had our College and Career Readiness Day at San Bernardino Valley College. It was hosted with Rialto Unified School District, Colton Joint Unified, San Bernardino City Unified, and county schools. And really want to give a shout out to our workforce development and all our county agencies that were there to really expose our children to opportunities to not only work for the county, but future careers. And they asked a lot of fruitful questions on, what would it take to become either a firefighter, law enforcement officer, and realize that even within our law enforcement community, we have a very diverse, type of jobs with them. Last Friday, I want to thank our CEO, Luther Snoke, for an event that we had here. It was an MOU signing, and I didn't realize this till after the event that this was historic in nature. It was an MOU between our County of San Bernardino, Cal State San Bernardino, and San Bernardino Valley College. There's been MOUs with community colleges and counties, but never with a university in our community. And what makes this MOU so significant is that it's going to help many of our families have access to CalFresh and food. And what was moving to me when I watched a video a year ago, there was a student from Bloomington that was really having a difficult time financially. So this is going to give our college students better access to food, especially with the rise of prices and inflation. So this was a great MOU signing. This past weekend, we had our Earth Day event. It was hosted in Bloomington and Muscoy. We had over 300 volunteers. I really want to thank our county departments, county code for coming out there, county public works, and all of our community members that came out there. We had 300 volunteers, 150 at each site. And it was great. We were in Muscoy. They cleaned up an area that had a bunch of illegal dumping. And then also they cleaned up a site in Bloomington, which had a lot of homeless that left their trash and belongings behind. Today is Government Day, so I want to welcome our students from the Colton Joint Unified and Rialto Unified that's here. They're here to learn about their government, and just want to give them a shout out. And let's give them a round of applause for being here today. Congratulations. And I'll take this opportunity just to highlight a few agenda items. We have item 2, which is a proclamation for music changing lives. We have Josiah Bruni, who's in the audience. He does a lot of things. His programs, a nonprofit, which has been around over 20 years. He does a lot for youth and community building and really a lot of good things. So just want to congratulate him. Item number 24, $1.2 million being allocated. It's a resolution for Operation Grace Navigation and Wellness Center. This is located at the old Norton Air Force Base. This is about $1.2 million. And what this is going to do, it's going to provide 28 transitional beds for many of our youth homelessness. So I think it's a great, great project for our community and to address the homelessness. Item 28, it's a little over $1.2 million to invest in Arrowhead Elementary, some of our discretionary money to help provide playgrounds for one of our low-income students here in the city of San Bernardino. And the last thing, just want to highlight the HUD action plan. I know it's a public hearing and we'll have some comments on that later, but one of the projects that we're going to have is about a little over $1 million for a sidewalks, curb gutter in unincorporated Colton. And all of us respective supervisors all have projects in this, so it's just great work on behalf of the team. That concludes my comments, Madam Mayor, or Madam Chair.
Thank you. Some in the public would say that that's a promotion. Supervisor Armendariz.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. On April 11th, we had our Ignite the Conversation at the public safety facility in Rancho Cucamonga. We were able to give updates to the community of all the things that we're doing regionally that impact them from a county level. The event was open to the public. We did provide some food and had great dialogue with our community. We actually also got a tour the Etijuana Preserve, where we were actually there showcasing through Cucamonga Water, who did the tour for us. And to actually do a tour that was as in-depth as it was for Etijuana Preserve, there's so much history and heritage that's embodied there today that I want to try to find some more ways that we could highlight that Etijuana Preserve. So hopefully you'll be hearing more about that in the future from me. I was able to attend the 2024 California State Association of County Legislative Conference in Sacramento, where I've been assigned as the delegate for our board, where CSAC shared a $6.3 billion general bond for behavioral health infrastructure, treatment sites, and housing. They want to prioritize older adults, young youth, and adults who have chronic homelessness or experience of having the risk of being homeless. They also are providing a $4.4 billion in grants for counties, cities, and tribal entities, nonprofits, private sector, for behavioral health treatment settings, things like drug treatment centers and things of that nature. We have a whole report that we'll be giving to Luther to tell him all the other things that we found while we were out there. Also, California has seen 19% increase in calls over the past this past year for their 988 crisis center capacity. So we're trying to figure out ways that we can continue to build and strengthen that networking system. I also attended with Mr. Vaca the National Crime Victims' Right Memorial, and to hear those people share their stories and to know the heartbreak that goes in when a life is lost and it's taken from us suddenly, viciously, and as a victim. Knowing that our San Bernardino County Public Department of Behavioral Health and our other facilities are there to help these people. I just want to take a moment to thank them, because there's a lot of people out there who need help, and we're making sure that we're out there. I also attended the groundbreaking for the Bright Line West. The unique thing, and I'm just going to touch on a couple of points that Kurt didn't touch on, because he said all the other great things, is this is decades in the making to have this train here. This was way before my time of even talking about it. This job, this action that's moving forward, this $12 billion project is going to create thousands of jobs, permanent, good-paying union jobs. And it's also going to have 10,000, I believe they said 10,000 jobs just to develop this project. So there is a PLA with it that's going to allow us that local hires will be being hired through the extent of the whole project. And it's going to take over 3 million cars off the road a year using electrification train, which is clean energy. So those are some of the other highlights that I thought were going to be great. It's also going to save 400,000 tons of CO2 annually. We also celebrated Earth Day. It was a pleasure for me to be in Upland, Fontana, and West Valley Water District, Rancho Cucamonga. We went to a lot of Earth Day events. Want to thank all our partners that we had out there to just make awareness on clean energy and making sure we understand we need to take care of our Mother Earth. Also attended the Colonies Master Homeowners Association annual spring event. It's an event where Upland brings all their community together, and they raise money. This year it went to their Upland Police Explorer program. So it was a great event. I thank them for inviting me. And last but not least, able to attend the Rancho Cucamonga Annual Art Festival. So it was where they showcase the art in the community, and there's a dozen performances. It was just a great opportunity for me to be out there with the public. So that ends my comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'd like to highlight one of our items today on our consent calendar, item number 67. This will approve waiving the fees for the Big Bear Zoo for all of our county employees in the month of May. So please take advantage of that if you are a county employee. I would also like to recognize Dr. Rebecca Houston, who is one of our residents over at ARMC, and she submitted for a research project in neurosurgery in the state of California, and she won first prize in that for her efforts. And so it's the first time that we have had that distinguished honor come to ARMC through our residents. So anyway, please congratulate her. I sent her a little note yesterday, but wanted to highlight that today. And also over at ARMC, Black Maternal Health Week in U.S. News and World Report recognized high-performing maternal care hospitals with success in supporting Black maternal health. And I am proud to say that Arrowhead Regional Medical Center was ranked one of 26 of the high-performing hospitals. So congratulations to Bill Gilbert and everyone over at ARMC for that distinguishment also. So great job. And Lynna, do we have any revisions or changes to today's agenda?
Good morning, Madam Chair. No, we do not. Thank you.
Very good. If a board member has a conflict of interest to disclose on any agenda item, now would be the time to do so. Seeing none, we'll move on to our consent calendar, which consists of items 2 through 71. I have a variety of speakers. Levon Kazarian, followed by Nancy Richardson.
Good morning, supervisors. I'm commenting on, I think it was item number 32, about the housing element program for short-term rental study. Just registering our disappointment of a continued delay to get the results from this. I think it's going on 5 months now. I detect zero sense of urgency from land use services and this board, frankly, with all due respect. If the county needed and still needs more time to conclude their findings, we should have had a moratorium on new licenses this entire time. So the problem we're all trying to solve didn't keep getting worse at an accelerated rate. It's common sense. That would be responsible best practice. 2 neighboring counties did this. Riverside County, for example, kept renewing its moratorium on short-term rental licenses while it studied the issue for over a year, I think almost 17 months, before passing its short-term rental ordinance, which included caps in their resort areas. Likewise, Inyo County had a moratorium that also lasted for over a year. But here in San Bernardino County, in the summer of 22, this board passed a 6-week pause on issuing licenses, but then resumed handing out unlimited short-term licenses at a record rate and is letting the problem explode, making any eventual solutions that much harder. Who exactly is this refusal to put in caps and other measures supposed to be benefiting? It's not benefiting current short-term rental license owners. If you put in a cap and limited the supply of licenses, you would concentrate demand to existing licenses and all their occupancy rates would go up. It's not solving the lodging problem. We have a lodging problem. We have a lot of visitors. They have nowhere to stay, granted. But if short-term rentals were the answer, these places would have occupancy rates of, 80% instead of less than 20. It's definitely not solving the housing problem. Letting 1 in 3 homes, which is how many homes in Joshua Tree are now short-term rentals, sit mostly empty at 20% occupancy isn't helping people who need somewhere to live. And it's not working for the traditional small business community like me. We need employees. I'm a restaurant owner in Joshua Tree. There's a ton of opportunity for small businesses, all kinds of new businesses in the high desert, but there is an artificial limit in place because we are all fighting over the same small pool of workers because there's no housing for these people. They have nowhere to live. So again, this is an honest question. Who is this policy benefiting? I don't get it. Why are we so married to this idea of handing out unlimited licenses? Short-term rental speculation is warping the real estate market. It's eating our housing. Oversaturation is ruining the short-term rental market itself. It's not benefiting anybody. It's not working. Can we try something new? Right now, it's time for land use to finish their homework and turn it in so this board can vote in caps as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy Richardson, who will be followed by Steve Bardwell out in our Joshua Tree conferencing site.
I'm speaking on item number 43, which is approving a $4 million plus electrical and technical upgrade, painting, flooring, and construction of new walls for some place that's located on Vanderbilt Way. I'm not even sure where this is or who Capital Improvement Project is, but I'm wondering, is this part of our budget? I don't ever get an answer, so I guess I'm just asking myself. But why is this so much? Why are we paying $4 million to just upgrade one suite at 451 East Vanderbilt Way? And I also want to note that we still haven't had any of the roads fixed up on the mountain from Snowmageddon last year. People tell me every day they have not received any help from the county, even though they put in their claims. So if you haven't been up there lately, there's tons of potholes. I'd rather see $4 million go to fix our roads up there. You can take out your complete front end of your vehicle just going into one of those potholes. And I don't see any move to do that. And it's been over a year now. I just don't understand why it takes so long. So I would like everybody to know that I'm speaking for myself, but I'm also echoing what other people have told me about not getting any help from the county. And this, you fill out the forms and then they don't hear anything. They haven't heard back at all. So I'm just here to say I would like to get some kind of response as to who this capital improvement is and why we're putting over $4 million. I'm sorry, why we're putting over $4 million into this building when other people can't even put food on the table. It's really bad up on the mountain. Businesses are really suffering. So I would like to see that money go somewhere else if this is in the budget. If it's not in the budget, hand it out to them anyway. We need to be taken care of up there on the mountain. And the chairman is responsible for our district. So I would hope to get some kind of response. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Bardwell out in Joshua Tree.
I'm speaking today on item number 32 regarding the annual update regarding the general plan and the housing element annual progress reports. In reviewing the general plan update, I was pointing out now that there was no mention in there of the fact that, as just recently happened, the desert tortoise has now been listed as an endangered species, along with the Joshua tree being listed as a threatened species. These are considerations that should be taken into account when looking at the entire development code. There are about 1 million animal and plant species that are at risk of being endangered. There are more than ever in human history, according to a recent report from the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services. So also so this is really needs to be enclosed within the general plan, countywide plan. As part of the countywide plan, the development code needs to be updated and it needs to be brought in conformance with so that all elements of the countywide plan are in sync with each other. And at the moment that has not happened, we need to have a zoning map now passed. I very much support the idea of having this online general plan. However, we have to have a zoning map that is now in sync with the land use map. I also like to encourage at this point that the development code be revised to get this squared away with conditional use permits. So many projects out here in the high desert are essentially putting a commercial use within a residential zone. If that's going to be the case, then people should have to live on site. If it's a residential zone, you want a conditional use permit, at least have that as a condition on it, because that's the whole idea on this thing. I was pleased to see in here the commitment to supporting community action guides. But I note that there is really a real loss of institutional memory within land use services. So many people have left. I appreciate the efforts that are being taken by land use services, but we need to encourage community groups working in tandem. Lastly is dust. 3 things contribute to mental health: alcoholism, diabetes, and air pollution can cause dementia. So this should be included within the general plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Garth, my apologies. I missed your name, but you are our last request to speak today if you want to join us up at the podium.
Thank you, Chair Brown and the Board of Supervisors. Item 2, adopt proclamation declaring the 3rd full week of July as Probation Services Week through the year 2029. As a reminder, the potential probationee has the right to negotiate probation terms and come up with his own ideas to serve probation. I suggest that the probationee have his attorney or public defender present during the probation interview. And note, if the interview lasts 5 to 10 minutes, they are about to hang the defendant. If the interview lasts 30 minutes or more, the defendant has a chance to win his case. Item 5, approve travel and related expenses for a total amount to exceed $5,158 for 2 commissioners from the Senior Affairs Commission to attend the California Association of Area Agencies on Aging Annual Conference 2024 in San Jose, California, from April 30, 2024 through May 3, 2024. I ask that the director investigate the fact that health insurance companies and primary care providers no longer support senior disabled transportation-free bus passes. They have contracted the Call the Car company to force seniors to have multiple doctor visits that are unnecessary, and seniors are required to take deadly pharmaceutical drugs. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Item 58, approve amendment number 1 to revenue agreement with the California Department of State Hospitals to administer the incompetent to stand trial reevaluation services at the county's West Valley Detention Center, increasing the reimbursement amount by $50,000 and extending the term by 1 year for a total contract period of July 2022 through June 30, 2025. Some time ago, I presented to the Board of Supervisors and gave Catherine Aids the whole cut on the Liberty Healthcare Incompetences Trial Program. Again, this particular program is designed to entrap our natural citizens. I suggest that the sheriff deputy chief consult with his jailhouse lawyers and those on probation and parole to ease the interaction with the law process.
Thank you. That is the last request to speak that I have. Do I have any members of the board wishing to pull an item for discussion or make comments?
I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you for the motion, Supervisor Hagman, and the second from Supervisor Baca. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. With that, the consent calendar passes. All in favor?
Very good. We will now move on to our discussion calendar, which consists of item number 72 today, which is our proposed program, year 2024-2025, United States Department of Housing and Urban Development Annual Action Plan being presented by Carrie Harmon, and I will open the public hearing. Good morning, Carrie.
Community Development and Housing. And today we have before you our annual plan for program year 24-25. Next, please. So we come before you each year with basically our spending plan for our about $11.2 million that we receive through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for our community planning and development grants. These funds are allocated to the county, but we deploy the funding through partnerships with 13 cities, housing developers, nonprofit organizations, and our fellow county departments that help us with our large-scale projects. These projects primarily benefit low and moderate income households, homeless individuals, and also members of our community who fall under the Americans with Disabilities Act and need additional requirements in order to utilize community facilities, parks, things of that nature. Next slide, please. So of this 11.2 million, you'll see that it is allocated through 3 buckets of funding. The Community Development Block Grant is about 6.8 million, the Home Investment Partnership Program about 3.7 million, and the Emergency Solutions Grant Program about 600,000. So you'll see that our funding has returned to pre-pandemic levels, especially with the Emergency Solutions Grant within these buckets. CDBG, which is what we commonly know the Community Development Block Grant Program as, covers capital infrastructure projects. This year we'll be undertaking 18 projects in collaboration with our cities. 5 will be performed through county departments, and we will have 37 public service programs. So those programs are like senior nutrition programs, after-school childcare, domestic violence services. All of this funding is allocated through NOFAs that are either issued through the cities or through our department. Home Investment Partnership, that advances affordable housing. It includes new construction, acquisition, rehab. Also tenant-based rental assistance, which could provide a 24-month subsidy with folks leaving our large shelters. Again, all these funds are distributed through NOFAs. And finally, Emergency Solutions Grant. We can fund emergency shelters, street outreach, rapid rehousing, and also our HMIS, our system that tracks our individuals that are homeless. So next slide, please. So the purpose of this hearing is to solicit public feedback and comment regarding our spending plan in accordance with federal regulations. We've advertised this on our website, in local newspapers, but also at our libraries, parks, and community facilities. It's also available at our office location for review, and we have complied with our citizen participation plan. So at the close of this hearing, we've concluded our 30-day public comment period. We have received 1 comment to date that we'll incorporate into our plan. Next, please. So that leaves us with our recommendation to consider any necessary changes to the proposed plan in light of any comments we may receive today. And then our department, our team will return on May 7th with the final plan for approval prior to its submittal to HUD. And that concludes my comments. I'm available for any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Do we have any questions of Carrie?
Let's give me a comment. Thank you, Carrie, for taking this. And I know we've been working with you on a strategy for the county on all different levels of population that need certain levels of assistance. And the work that your department, yourself, and Marcus, and everybody else has been working on, I just want to say thank you. I know it's conjunction, when we talk about the county, it's not just within the county unincorporated areas, but we're also partnering up with our cities for a lot of these resources, and they also get funds. So the fact that we can match some of this up to get the right help to the right people in the right places is a big undertaking with the largest county in the United States. So thank you for all the hard work you've been doing.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, great job. Joe?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment and echo some of the sentiments that Supervisor Hagman mentioned in regards to the money. I know there's 3.7 for the home ARP. I know that, what we've been trying to do is trying to cobble some of this money together so we could make, good, smart, wise investments to try to really, address homelessness and affordable housing. So we've gone through the spending plan, we've gone through all the potential projects. And just one of the previous action items we took as an example of one of the investments we made to address homelessness and affordable housing. So I think it's a great plan. I appreciate all the good work you've done. And just to mention all the CDBG projects, which are great because, the entire board gets to benefit from some of the great projects we're doing. And just great work, Gary and the team. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. The only request to speak that I have is Steve Bardwell out in the Joshua Tree conferencing site.
Document that was presented to you that you're voting here on today. And I'm sure you're aware of the large number of acronyms that are included within this. I would ask that a glossary be included within subsequent future annual reports that have a kind of definition of all the acronyms. You can get lost in these acronyms, so that would be good. The other point I'd like to make on here is going back to this whole issue of the effect of short-term rentals on the housing stock. Within the annual action plan, there is a clear description of the effects that short-term rentals are having on the housing stock. Within this report, it talks about a program for report that has been submitted has been prepared. However, this program for report has not been approved by the Board of Supervisors. We haven't seen any response to our comments on the program for report. I'm speaking on behalf of the Morongo Basin Conservation Association. And our letter to the county at the end of 2023 had a lot of concerns about this program for report. So included within this annual action plan, annual report, is the fact that it states that this program for report has been prepared and submitted. And I take objection to that because it has not been done as yet. Also regarding housing, back to number 32 and the consent item, there was an annual progress report submitted to the state of housing of the entire housing situation. The formatting for that is out of whack. If you go to the state website and try to extract the information from the county, not usable. You can't see it. The assessor's parcel number and street addresses have not been included on the units that have been tabulated. So this is something that I think you should be aware of. We're trying to get a sense of what the overall housing stock and housing availability is in the county. And without this critical information, it becomes very difficult to do that. Thanks very much for the opportunity to speak, and please step up your game on these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. That is the last request to speak that I have, so I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board.
Baca moves.
Thank you.
Hagman seconds.
Thank you very much. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. With that, item number 72 passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. With that, we will move on to our public comment on items not on our agenda. And Garth, I will have you join us first, followed by Nancy Richardson.
Thank you. Garth Pazant Sr., approaching the within jurisdiction. Adjudicative competence, also referred to as competence to stand trial, is a legal construct describing the criminal defendant's ability to understand and participate in legal proceedings. This includes the defendant's current ability to participate in various pleas and waivers of rights. The Psychometric Properties Manual fails general acceptance for expert testimony. Yet criminal attorneys and judicial officers rely on these fake evaluators. The MACCAT-CA and the ECST-R for forensic clinicians is a failure. They also test ones whom are found faking ignorance of basic legal knowledge. The criminal defendant is forced to rely on legal experts whom are able to determine the defendant's knowledge or lack of knowledge of law and legal strategies. If the defendant fails or passes, why is he sent to a psychologist? To be continued. The family law court clerk does not waive transcript fees to the indigent, contrary to the San Bernardino District Justice Center. Does the family law bar want to hide what they are doing to our families? Only the privileged attorneys can afford the transcripts. This enables these attorneys to manipulate profit from the clients and the court system. No client, no rights. The family law court system primarily, the attorneys do not give a hoot about dissolving your assets, nor the emotional damage you are putting on your child. All they want is your money. Family Court Commissioner Shannon Suber supports adultery and concealment, long-time crimes. Criminal case number FSB 20004322. District Attorney Chin Bui, before you attempt your mission, I charge you by the living God, consult your demonic gods and ask who I am. Don't try the anointed of Jehovah. If you persecute my family, I destroy your whole nation. Google my success rate. California criminal law. Daddy, I didn't do it. Son, tell me you did it and I will punish you less severely. If I'm persuaded you did it, I will compound your punishment and hold all your sins against you.
Thank you. Nancy Richardson, who will be followed by Derek Rutherford.
I am here for public comment as a representative of New California State. And New California State would like the answers to these 4 questions. In light of the Supreme Court 9-0 ruling against impact fees, are you considering terminating impact fees after the U.S. Supreme Court decision calling them an unconstitutional tax? Question number 2, how much in impact fees have you charged over the last 10 years? Number 3, if you are not going to terminate impact fees, how do you plan to justify them as fees rather than taxes? Because taxes must be voted on by we the people. So calling them fees has been an out for a lot of the counties. Have you set up a process to handle refunds to residents that were inappropriately assessed impact fees in the past? I am going to be quoting now from Mountaintop Times Substack. Almost All California's 58 counties and 482 cities, towns, and villages began imposing impact fees after 2006 that can run between $21,000 to $157,000 per dwelling and account for up to 18% of the cost of new median-sized homes. This helps address those questions, in my opinion, of the short-term rentals. That's why they're so expensive. They've probably been charged some kind of impact fees. In a rare show of unity, Supreme Court voted 9-0 decision to vacate and remand a traffic mitigation fee of $23,420 charged to an elderly El Dorado County man that bought a modest trailer 7.5 years ago and put it on his small piece of property. The rural county had claimed that the addition of one mobile home caused a countywide traffic burden. He went to go register his trailer. He thought he was only going to pay like $60. And instead, he was charged almost $24,000 to put a trailer on his own property, and there was nobody else over there with him. So it's just absolutely important that we get the answers to these questions because they have been ruled unconstitutional. And any of these kind of impact fees from now on are going to be challenged.
Thank you. Derek Rutherford, who will be followed by Jane Hunt-Rubel.
Good morning, Supervisors. I'm Derek Rutherford from Mountain View Acres, Victorville, California, here to highlight a critical flaw in our code enforcement policy. Currently, noise standards our noise standards outlined in subsection 83.01.080 only consider decibel levels in the A level, overlooking the significant issue of bass frequency disturbances that penetrate through the walls of our homes. This oversight allows disturbances to persist as bass cannot be measured in a decibel A level. I urge for a revision to include a decibel C or Hertz standard for bass disturbances, or possibly simply adopting San Bernardino City's definition of disturbing the peace, which includes a 50-foot rule. Sheriff's response times are unacceptably long in our area, over 8 hours, burdening residents seeking resolution. The current policy of issuing one noise warning from sheriff's officers, which resets daily, is ineffective in deterring repeat offenders, allowing the problem to persist day after day, particularly when it stems from an intentional act of harassment by an angry neighbor. I propose a revision to the code or law to include consequences for repeat offenders. Our current law inadequately addresses intentional disruptive behaviors, such as hanging obnoxiously loud wind chimes that ring over 75 decibels in the A level throughout the night, or allowing exhaust cutouts and driveways, leaving residents vulnerable, especially in the enforcement of restraining orders. The Sheriff's Department lacks clear guidelines for addressing intentional methods of disturbing the peace. I urge for a consideration of revision to include such methods that may interfere with the peace and quiet enjoyment inside one's home. In light of the 2022 Department of Justice funding of $40 million to advance community policing, with $10 million allocated for co-response teams, I propose allocating resources for police-embedded social workers in the San Bernardino County marginalized communities. We deserve proactive solutions. Where are the co-response teams in our county areas that can address these problems and ensure appropriate enforcement of laws and regulations related to noise disturbances, harassment, or other offenses committed by a harassing neighbor are enforced? Is there a plan to implement co-response teams in the county areas of San Bernardino County? Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Jane Hunt-Rubel, who will be followed by Anonymous.
Good morning, board members. Oh, thank you. Good morning again. Anyway, I know it's the day after Earth Day, but for me, every day should be Earth Day. It's in my consciousness, especially pertaining to county land use and the planning department and everything. And I basically agree with the gentleman that was before me. I've been fighting this for a few years about in the county element, it goes up for noise. It's just pertaining to new construction noise, noise like that. And I wrote in my comments back in 2022 or 2021 at a planning commission's hearing on the changing the countywide plan. And it only pertained, I wrote about, what about all the noise coming from these loudspeakers, and it rattles your house. And that to me is an environmental problem also. But the gentleman that replied to me said, well, that's not part of the process. It just pertained, but it should pertain to that because we're getting more and more of these off-road vehicles with the loud mega bass, and it's just disrupting. It's bad for humans. And another issue I'd like to bring up, I hope they include that in the new county general plan. Anyway, enough about noise. We need more protecting open space. That's the reason I brought this sign, because I've been part of since 2016. I've spoken to the department about this several times. We need to reinstate the countywide preservation conservation plan. We got to get a move on it, especially the valley area is being just filled with warehouses and more housing in certain areas that not should be built in, like the wash areas and the foothill areas. And in closing, I want to sing a Joni Mitchell song. It pertains to this. We're paving paradise and we're putting up another warehouse. And we're destroying paradise and we're putting more homes in places they should not belong. Don't it always seem to go that it doesn't matter what we say, it changed. We're paving paper, keep paving paradise and put up another warehouse. And I hope you guys really adhere to the general plan and make it inclusive about, we need to protect what open space is left, especially here in the valley. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anonymous, who will be followed by Margaret Cashin. No anonymous? We are not on any specific agenda item. These are items that are not on our agenda today. Okay. Any podium. The one directly behind you is probably the closest, or across the hall.
Well, I managed to get here a couple of times every 10 years, and every time I come here, I realize why I don't come back. It's a little amusing, but mostly it's depressing. If one looks at the expenses that you all keep congratulating each other on, all the money that you're spending, all the money that you're borrowing, all the money that you're giving away, it shows to me just way too much confidence and way too much employment by lawmakers rather than law enforcers. About half the problems that America is concerned with right now would be solved if we would just enforce the existing laws instead of debating them to death and having these agendas that are so long that nobody reads them. And the people that do read them don't understand them. I think they had an audit with the state the other day on this homeless money that got spent. What was it, $24 billion? This woman that talked about this plan for giving away money this next year, the acronym that she kept referring to was CBD. And I turned to my wife and said, "Isn't that a marijuana product?" And I would say that if they need a suggestion, they probably need to hire a competent bookkeeper in their agency. And I just want to say one thing quick before I get cut off mid-sentence, and that is that I think it was the sage of Baltimore, H.L. Mencken, that once made the statement about government, that the art of politics is to pluck a chicken as completely and effectively as possible, with the least squawking possible. And I think that's what this is all about. The last time I came to a meeting, I think it was a previous board meeting, I got sidetracked because I wound up making a report to who I thought was responsible for our fire inspections out in the desert in Ms. Rao's area. And I've been very disappointed by it, and I thought it was the fire department's responsibility, and I find out it's code enforcement. And then I went, oh, good heavens, that's land use services. What a joke they are. I'd be behind bulletproof glass if I were them too. They're rude, they're incompetent, there's no accountability. And we made a complaint at that meeting to the fire chief, and we haven't heard back. We've had damage to our property by the firemen that were sent out by the dispatcher that we specifically said we don't want them on our property anymore. They've caused problems in the past. And we'd like to hear from somebody with the health department about a legitimate concern that we complained about when it was in progress. And since the last board meeting, we haven't heard from a soul. There was some fellow who thought he was a comedian, sort of a smart ass.
That's time.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll have someone from Land Use Services provide you a card. The next request to speak that I have is from Margaret Cashin, who will be followed by Dee Dee Donahue.
Good morning. I'm here to advocate for better animal welfare in San Bernardino County. I know behind-the-scenes work is being done to improve animal welfare in the county, and I want to thank you all for the strides you have made. I want to acknowledge the Board of Supervisors as well as the Department of Public Health. Not sure if it's okay for me to comment on item 45 in case time has passed. I just encourage you to approve it. The contract with Paw Mission. They're a great organization who provide mobile spay and neuter services and veterinary services. We're in full support of this. So many communities need this, and there are remote areas and limited access to vet services. My next point, it feels like progress is not as fast as needed on a TNR program, trap, neuter, vaccinate, release, and revising the leash law to exclude cats would help with the overwhelming amount of cats that flood the shelters. Last week, there were 18 cats that came into DeVore Animal Shelter, and most of them looked like pets. Next point, last year, about 50% of the cats at DeVore Animal Shelter were rescued by nonprofit 501c3 rescues. Rescues take on the financial responsibility and bear the brunt of the animal overpopulation issue. Would it be unreasonable to ask, in exchange for assisting in this, that the county would consider a modular structure or auxiliary structure to handle the influx of cats on certain days at DeVore? It feels like the Department of Health's past opinion was there just is limited room. There is one room at the shelter called the Rescue Only Room. It is the size of 2 dog kennels and has 21 kennels for cats. The high volume of cats and the limited space mean the turnover is rapid, and every 96 hours, a cat becomes available and oftentimes is immediately youth listed. Other shelters actually offer more time. This probably feels like an unachievable request, but I will restate it. An auxiliary structure would offset the pressure. Since rescues play a huge role and can probably absorb more cats and help improve the statistics, it would be a game changer. The close quarters for the cats also mean viruses and communicable diseases spread easily, so rescues are saddled with high vet bills. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dee Dee Donahue? Did she step out? Okay. So Dee Dee was our last request to speak. This meeting is now adjourned. Our next regularly scheduled Board of Supervisors meeting will be held May 7th here in Chambers at 10 a.m. Thank you.